Good morning. It's March 4th, 2025. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the State Court of Clayton County, Georgia, courtroom 304. This is the arraignment and jail calendar. I'm going to call the arraignment calendar and then I'll call the jail calendar. The first name on the arraignment calendar is Sharonda Dawn Allen. Sharonda Dawn Allen.
In the period the courtroom is on, Judge. Let me check on them.
Okay, thank you.
They logged on, but I don't see where they are.
Okay, and if there's someone here with iPhone, please rename yourself. Put your first and last name on the screen. Instead of iPhone, please put your first and last name on the screen.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
Deputy Chief Ponder's logging on. We just came from the courtroom, so we don't have a prosecutor yet.
All right. So I'll give y'all a few minutes.
Hey, good morning, Ms. Judge Hayward. I'm sorry. This is Jaquaze Barnett. That's me with the iPhone. I'm kind of new at all this Zoom stuff. I don't know how to put my name up there.
Spell your first name for me.
JAH apostrophe QUAZAY.
Okay, so I have JAH apostrophe QUAZAY.
Yes, ma'am. And the Q is capital. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what's your last name?
Barnett. BARNETTE.
All right. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. The courtroom's here. Still waiting on a couple people to log in.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm present.
Good morning. All right. So is everybody present? You can hear me in the courtroom? All right. So the first name on the arraignment calendar is Sharonda Allen. Sharonda Dawn Allen. Anyone here on behalf of Ms. Allen? I do not have an attorney listed. Sharonda Dawn Allen. All right. Bench warrant.
Bench warrant, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. Bench warrant. Ms. Allen requested to be placed on the calendar. So I'm not sure why she would request it and did not show up. So bench warrant on forfeiture will get it for Ms. Allen. Next on the calendar is Mr. Jaquaze Barnett. Mr. Barnett. Okay, I know Mr. Barnett is here. I just talked to him. Mr. Barnett, can you hear me? Unmute your device for me. Sir? Mr. Barnett? All right, I see his where I changed
Hey,
his
I'm
name.
sorry, Judge Hayward. I'm trying to start my video and it's
Okay.
not letting me. There you go. I'm sorry.
All right. Okay, so
I'm so
you
sorry.
have, okay, so like turn off the other phone that you have, or we're gonna probably get feedback.
Said the
So-
other. I don't
Okay,
have.
okay, it's gone. I don't know what happened. So I had your name up on one screen and then you appeared on the iPhone on another screen. So I'm not sure what's
Yeah,
going on.
it had signed out. I had to just sign back in. I do apologize.
That's okay. So Mr. Barnett, you're before the court for no license, driving on a suspended or revoked license. Do you wish to have an attorney represent you or do you wish to represent yourself?
Honestly, ma'am, if an attorney is the best way, then yes. But I do want to, like, first, I just want to apologize for missing court last year. I did not know anything about me having court since 2022. I have been back in Gastonia, North Carolina, working due
Okay,
to my last situation, and I do have my license. I have my license back reinstated, and I have my Class A license. So,
okay.
to the lady.
Miss-
Your Honor, I'm going to, if I can just have a breakout room only because I don't want him to provide his information live. So I can just get that information just so I can verify with our investigator. And then if he does have an active license, the state will be moving to no pros.
Okay, so Mr. Barnett, if you wish to speak with the state's attorney, she's gonna have them verify your current license, and if everything is good with that, then she's willing to dismiss. Did you wish to speak with her?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's
All
great.
right, so okay, so just hold on, get your license ready. I'm gonna mute you right now until I can put you in a breakout room where y'all can talk privately, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so let me just call the calendar, and then when I come back, I'll put you in a breakout room.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next case on the calendar is Jorge Ramirez Castilla. That's Mr. Kessler's case. Mr. Kessler filed a waiver on September 3rd of 2024.
And Your Honor, I
So-
did speak with Mr. Kessler on yesterday, and
Okay.
it's my understanding that he would be here for a plea. I did provide him that information, but I did speak with him last week actually, and we talked yesterday as well.
Yes, he's
All right,
supposed to be
so let
on
me
for a
go-
plea today, Judge.
All right, let me hold for Mr. Kessler because he's not here, but he usually comes into court with his client. So I'll give him a little grace. Lucius Gerard Maple.
Hey,
Lucius
how you
Gerard.
doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Maple. Mr. Maple, you're before the court for driving under the influence, DUI less safe, and speeding 25 to 30 miles per hour over the limit. I do not see an attorney listed for you. Do you have an attorney or do you wish to have one appointed?
I have one, Mr. Terrell Dart, but I'm trying to get in contact with him.
Dart. Okay. Is it D-A-R-T?
D-A-R-K, Dart.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna mute you. Please see if you can get in touch with your attorney because this was continued from the February calendar. I'm sorry, February 17th calendar. And he wasn't there then either, and he hasn't done done an appearance. So he hasn't done the things that he needs to do to let us know he's your attorney.
Okay, me contact him.
Please. All right, next on that's the last case on the arraignment calendar. So Mr. Barnett,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with Ms. Ponder and the investigator, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, have your documents ready for me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. All right, oops. All right, so Ms. Ponder and Mr. Barnett, I'm going to put you in breakout room number 2.
Excuse me, Judge, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On Ms. Allen, the first person on the calendar,
Yes, ma'am.
since she already has a bench warrant, are you issuing an additional one, or the one she already has will remain?
The one she already has is fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so that is the arraignment calendar. When Ms. Ponder comes out of the breakout room, we'll move forward with the jail calendar, and we're still holding for Mr. Kesser and Terrell Dark. All right. We'll be back.
Your Honor, I have an announcement for Mr. Barnett's case.
Yes, Ms. Ponder?
Yes, Your Honor, I was able to confirm that in fact his license are valid. The state is preparing a no pros in his case and also a bench warrant recall. I do have Mr. Barnett's email address and I will send that over to Ms. Wright.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Barnett, you're free to go. Thank you. Just keep your license in good stead, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, take care, sir.
You as well.
All right, so we'll move to the jail calendar. All right, so on the jail calendar, the first case is Abditamite Mike. Mr. Abditamite. I know we had moved him to this calendar, I guess, to see if everything was going to be better today. What's going on with Mr. Abditamite?
Thank you, Your Honor. That's Mr. Lynch's case. Mr. Abditamite is up. I think it's going to be a plea, but Mr. Lynch is in the attorney booth. Let me retrieve him.
That's okay. Okay, because we're just going to go through the whole list.
And he has announcements for other folks. I'll bring him out.
Okay. All right, 1 second.
For your guys. So you ready? I'm ready to proceed, Judge.
All right, Mr. Lynch, Mr. Abditamite.
That'll be a negotiated plea today, Judge.
Okay. Chambers, Tiffany Monique Chambers.
Judge, I believe that's out to bond. She's was on a previous jail calendar, which was continued. I'm not sure if that was the snow day, but either way, it says continued, but she's not in custody at this time.
Okay. Troy Nathan Evans.
Judge, that'll be a negotiated guilty plea today.
Jermaine Bernard Foster.
Judge, Mr. Foster's out to bond. He's my client. He was in there for a bench warrant, but he's made bond and we're in contact. He has already pled not guilty.
All right. Excuse me. Gonzalez Romero Hambrick.
Judge, that'll be a negotiated plea on both cases.
Okay. All right, Trey Bernard Hill.
Judge, that's going to be a negotiated plea, and I did want to mention to Ms. Ponder that he did want to accept the amended recommendation we discussed this morning, but that will be a negotiated plea today.
All right. Pedro Yunfei Ho.
Does not appear to be in custody. Oh, is he in the?
Your Honor, so I did call for this individual when I was in court. It appears that he may have family members or someone that he may know in the courtroom. They've indicated that he was still in custody for about 2 years. I did inform him that I do not see where he is in custody. It doesn't have him as active. I did inform him that I would look into whether or not it was maybe an error on the calendar. But I do not see him as an active inmate at this time.
Okay, is there someone here for Mr. Ho? Because
I'm right here.
All right. We brought him out a couple of times on the calendar. We offered him counsel. We offered him plea deals. It's traffic stuff. So we weren't trying to hold him, but every time he refused. And so I couldn't figure out how best to help him because nobody came to court on those occasions.
See, I got him bailed him out on the 25th of August. And then when he
Okay.
was out, That's 2023. And then on 20, let me see, September the 3rd, that's when he was arrested for no insurance. Okay. So when he was incarcerated, he never ever knew when he got out that he didn't have insurance, because they took the money out of his checking account, just like his car payment. Okay. So when he was arrested, then they owned the little insurance company. It's called State Farm. I have my insurance there too, and on my house and my car. And I said, y'all never sent a letter until he got arrested that there was no insurance. And she said, I sent a letter out, and I said, no, my name is on the insurance papers too. So the mail comes, he lives at my
How
house.
are you related to Mr. Ho?
Huh?
How are you related to him?
Kind of like a caregiver. He's psychotic, paranoid, schizophrenic. And I told him with his disability, hardly no money, he could stay at my house. His family disowned him. When you're Chinese, if you have a mental illness, they disowned him. His mama told me that. I got him in Georgia Regional, couldn't get him out. She had to fly over here, got him out. And when I took her to the motel every night, to the Georgia Regional, she said he's an embarrassment to the family with a mental illness. And they disowned him. They never talked to him again. I told him, don't worry, you can stay at my house. He graduated from Emory University and University of Virginia. When they called on the phone,
Yeah, I didn't get that he had an intellectual disability. I thought that it was maybe a mental health issue and I didn't know.
Health, psychotic, paranoid, schizophrenic. I told all 5 nurses, Nurse Brown, Nurse Smith, Nurse LaPorte, Nurse Thornton, and Nurse Willis. Okay. And now you got Nurse Thornton is over mentally ill people in the jail. And so was Nurse Willis. Okay. She got fired. And then I had Nurse Smith. I gave her the fax numbers, because I had him, he's been in the hospital 5 times, and I had her fax his medical records over here in the jail.
Okay, thank you, because you have done an amazing job. I would just wish you were here or had known the first couple of times, because maybe like a bracelet or something with some contact information, like when people do medical alert bracelets, maybe if he were able to have one of those, because he wouldn't. Okay.
What happens when he gets ill? He gets mad at me.
Okay.
Nobody else. He's one of those Bible preaching people, but he gets mad at me. And 13 people in the building have my phone number. When we went to court with Judge Carter, she said nobody has a phone number to reach anybody. Evan Hansinger has my phone number. Candace Brown has my phone number. Deja Stokes has my phone number. 5 nurses down there have my phone number. He was also beaten up, had to go to the hospital in an ambulance. They had the bill for $19,792 right here. They did not tell me. The police covered it up. I got this from Grady Hospital. They sent it to me 5 months later. And since that time he was beaten up, I haven't heard from him in 1.5 years.
Mr. Deputy Whitson, okay, y'all don't have any record of him still being in the jail?
He bonded out on Thursday, the 27th. The jail called and said that he had been in jail, and we needed a status update. So I put him on this calendar, but it looks like he OTB'd on February 27th.
Okay, who paid?
He was only out 9 days. He went back. He's been there since 2020. 22.
Yeah, because we've had him up a few times, but I don't know how to communicate with him, because he's intelligent, but he won't talk. Like I've given him an attorney, he won't talk to them. I've asked him to tell us.
They don't show up for court. Shannon Render.
No, they showed up. He won't talk to them. He
didn't show up. He got contempt of court in Carter's court. Shannon Render. And next time he didn't show up. He was late, and then he gonna slam the phone in my face. Render did, but I told him his client was in the hospital. And then when the sewage was running all over the place, And he wanted to use another commode and they hit him in the face. I called him and slammed the phone in my face.
Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to find him right
yes,
now.
ma'am.
Miss Wright, so he still has felonies pending? Is that what's going on?
That's been there, but he can.
Because in our court, he would show up and his attorneys would be here, but he would refuse to talk to the attorneys. And he said he didn't want an attorney. Then when we tried to tell him there was a plea that could help him get out of jail, he wouldn't take the plea. And so he kept going back to jail, but I knew that there was a felony pending. I just didn't know where that was. What was going on with that?
Is that attorney? Oh, Carter? Oh, what he did is broke some windows in my car. So I called the police, Officer Watts. And I said, can you please help me get to he's a danger to himself or somebody else. We need to go to the mental hospital. He said he's going to the jail. And so that's how everything started.
Okay, so from now on, if he has a mental break, call 988, not 911, 988. So that's for people who are in mental health crisis.
See, he was on they put him on clozapine. And I went to the psychiatrist, Sarah Dubray, over there at Grady for 2 weeks, for the whole month. Every 2 weeks we're going, I was talking about that clozapine. It's making his whole his body on the inside itch all over on his insides. And so he couldn't sleep. And I kept saying, can you put him on something else? And then 2 days later, I'm back again. And she's got a whole desk full of files. Next, could just call him. She's not listening. And
okay, so what I just need to know is, I want to verify that he bonded out because we were, I guess he had a case. Okay, so even if he bonded out for us, he may still be in on the felony. So I just need to check for the jail. Deputy Whitson?
Checking the system, he's not in our jail at this time.
Do they have okay, so it says he bonded out?
It says he bonded out.
Do you have the bonding? Can you get the bond? Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. He was what?
TOT, so he probably transferred to another jail. So
Do you know which?
One person TOT, so that means he transferred somewhere else.
Do we know which jail?
Let me look.
Thank you, Whitson.
Spalding County.
There we go.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a couple of days.
Okay, sir. He's been transferred to Spalding County in Griffin.
I talked to this, I just talked to the district attorney when I met you, okay?
Okay, hold
That was
on.
a Wednesday.
Hold on. Hold on.
They told me he's not there, he's here. And for when he goes to court today.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. I know the judge in Spalding County. He's a friend of mine. Let me call and see if he can search and see if Mr. Ho is in the jail, okay?
You know, Hannah, Hannah, she works for the district attorneys in Spalding County. Hannah, she told me for me to call. I was up here yesterday trying to find out who I'm supposed to call after court.
Okay,
so
but the sheriff's office says that they transported him. So let me just check and verify that information so we'll know exactly where he is, okay?
Okay.
All right, so if you have a seat, I'm gonna try and find him. Hold on just a second, ladies and gentlemen.
He was supposed to go to court here today and
Just have a seat for me.
This one is, no one paid all a year and a half I've been going in circles. Last week I was there 3 days. I've been here 2 days here. This man, I met him last week. So, people don't believe me.
I see.
Well, I got, this ain't nothing. I got a whole photo.
One second.
I just called this lady yesterday. She told me yesterday, today, called her so they come to you. And that's on good. And I called. The county district attorney. I before he was beaten up and he only weighs 100 pounds. He's Chinese, so they're going to beat him to death here. I was telling that guy in the hall, I said 17 people died in there in 3 years. It's on the news. 8 people last year, 4 years before that, 7 years before that. I know all this stuff. I said he was Tom Jones. I got his phone number, TV guy, Channel 2, Channel 5. Told me to give him a call. He can't get nowhere. I met Mrs. Bollinger out front when she lost her son. He kept her out front 3 weeks, coming every Friday from 9 until 12. That's how that Tom Jones. I just don't do crap. And to do it for 2.5 years, it's not just, I took a break that 9 days when I had him out until he got arrested. Because I paid $2,400 to get him out. You think I would pay $2,400 to tell a person they don't have insurance on their car? Because I didn't know they wanted insurance. I would say, I'll take you grocery shopping, what I would have done until I have insurance on the car. Because that money's gone.
I mean, a lot of times, so it's 1-4. They have indicate somewhere else.
I give it my own way. I give it no more. I'm kind of like a caregiver. Turn yourself in every time you go to the hospital. You just get sick. Review, Iper, Georgia Regional, Georgia Regional times. Iper was that Iper had to put on a shot that lasted long. They were going to build it up to the 3-month shot. Okay, he got out and you said, Iper, oh, you don't have to take a shot. And then he got back on the pill again, and that's when he got the episode again. People don't. And plus, if you want to do the don't screen at home, anyway, come to the office and say they got so lazy with this pandemic shit.
Sir, language.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
You're on a roll, I got you.
I didn't know I was on the thing.
All right, so I sent a message to the judge and the staff attorney in Spalding County to see if we can track him down. So hopefully they'll get back to me. I think the judge may be in court. So they'll get back to me in a moment. But if we just
Spalding County, they say he's been there since the 27th.
He what?
He's been in custody since the 27th.
Okay, thank you so much. And let me, because I want to make sure that Judge Thacker knows kind of what his situation is, so it doesn't take them as long to kind of figure out how to help him. And then we can get this gentleman to give them the information necessary to help Mr. Hope. All right, so we've verified that he's in Spalding County. When I get a message back from that judge, then I'll let you know kind of what is up with Mr. Ho, but I believe he is in the Spalding County Jail as verified by Deputy Whitson. All right, so to continue with the call of the calendar, Jose Jimenez.
Judge, I believe that will be a plea today, but I will need an interpreter. I was able to communicate with him in the jail, but I need an interpreter to make sure that we.
All right, so as soon as the interpreter comes in, we'll go ahead and get that done. Next, Mr. Jimenez has 2 cases. Next is Chroma, Abendigo, Matalese, Abendigo Chroma.
Judge, we haven't been appointed, but I did go ahead and speak to him.
Yes, please. Those are petitions.
He does want to resolve the case, Judge. We have a recommendation from Mr. Carmichael. And
And it looks like these were pay only cases, so I'm not sure why he's not like, what's going on that he can't make that happen.
right. And I know he's been in custody now for about 11 days, give or take. Well, I think 11 days officially. He feels like it's been more than that. But he does want to resolve his probation cases here.
All right, thank you. Next is Latasha Lakia Langford. Latasha Lakia Langford.
That will be a plea today.
Okay. Karen Lovett.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that Ms. Lovett's case has been transferred, although she may need to be brought out to explain why the transfer is occurring.
All right, we can bring her out first, and I can go ahead and explain, and she can go back. Kiana Marie Rhodes.
That will be a plea, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
Will be a guilty plea today.
Okay. And Cameron LaRae Richardson, 2 cases, petition.
Excuse me. Judge, we're going to stipulate to a violation and ask the court accept the recommendation from Ms. Chang. Potentially, yeah.
Okay. And Mohammed Sale. That looks like a closed case with a pending SSD. So Mr. Sale is in for an SSD. Ms. Powell, if you can go ahead and do the modification for me.
Judge, he was released on the 20th because he paid the amount on the arrest order.
Oh, okay. Then I must have signed the release already. Who is this? Ms. Lovett?
Yes.
Ms. Lovett? So, ma'am, your case was transferred to Superior Court. It's being prosecuted as a felony when you get, huh?
Oh, it was trespass. For what? I didn't do anything.
Okay, I get that, ma'am, but the prosecutor has reviewed the case and they're sending it to be prosecuted upstairs. What will happen is you will have the opportunity to have another arraignment upstairs, and they will appoint an attorney to you upstairs, okay?
But listen, I've been here 5 months. This is the first time I see a judge.
Well, you're seeing me now, but I don't know how long it'll be before you have the arraignment judge upstairs.
I never seen no one. Today is the first day in 5 months. And my release was January 7th. I was supposed to leave then. And they running my cards here and my New York State food stamp cards. They using my accounts and my phones. So
okay,
I'm not. So look, I came from here to go to FBI, so they could have I haven't heard from them this summer. They stole my information years ago with these psychiatrists, Fry and Beck. I don't have no history of no kind of criminal background, no psych, or none of that. And I was in the airport, and they stole my cards and took a Walker card. A Walker card was in New York. I found it. I never used it, but I know where it's coming from. It's coming to my account. They're using M right here. They stole another $1,300 right before I got here, and this Officer Gomez, they're using my account with Chase with brand new cars, and I'm paying the tickets. They took another $4.
All right. So, Ms. Lovett.
I'm here. Look, I have not been outside 3 times for 4.5 months, like 10 days. The 5 months, they locking me down. They giving my information, my food, my money, my stuff to every psych person or anybody on medication, and my mental card was stolen. And they using the same cops is giving my information for their friends. The
Okay.
sheriff had stolen my stuff in Douglasville, and I didn't even live here. This is my market that has my name on it, my money that comes to my account that's stolen, my tic-tac-toe.
Miss Lovett, need you to calm down for Miss
that comes
Lovett.
behind my.
Miss Lovett, Miss Lovett, I can't explain to you what this says if you're not gonna calm down, okay?
No, because I'm being treated, look at my hair. I came here with a full hair of hair. Now somebody operating and
Miss Lovett, Lovett, calm down. Talk to me.
I got big old stuff.
But I need you to calm down because I can't understand what you're saying. Okay?
Okay.
The last time you were supposed to come up, they wouldn't bring you up because you were so agitated. Now
That's
just
not
calm.
true.
Okay. Miss
They
Lovett.
lying.
Miss
They
Lovett.
lying. I haven't listened.
Miss Lovett. What part of New York you from?
Brooklyn.
Me too.
Born in Brooklyn, and they keep chasing my life.
Okay, Miss Lovett, talk to me. All right? Born and raised, Kings County. So listen to me. Okay? Now, what they are saying, now before you talk, let me explain what's going on, and then you can tell me what the problem is, okay?
Mhm.
They are saying that you were at the airport and there was a Delta Airlines passengers that had baggage. The baggage was taken from the airport, which is a felony, and that the baggage was in your possession.
Right, but I slept over because I was waiting for someone for the bag. I didn't walk out the airport. I was still there overnight, and they wanted me to sign a trespassing ticket, and I said no because they didn't sign. They didn't.
Okay. How did you fly in that day?
No, that was somebody else. This is my brother's is Douglas Lovett. That's the same bag that I'm waiting for it. I told somebody, listen, I said, somebody's coming to pick the bag. I'm coming back. This is the day before. I went out a couple of hours. I came back. I waited. I stayed out there. No cop said nothing. I stayed overnight. And that morning, now, the same woman in travel, my cars is being run for every brand new car on my account that comes in that
all
same,
right. So this is what needs to happen. This case is going to be transferred, but we're also going to let them know that you may have been the victim of a identity theft. And they have, wait, listen to me. They have investigators in the DA's office who will investigate that because it's connected to this case. So if you're a victim of identity theft, they can't prosecute you if you're not the right person.
Because this is why I came back down here from.
But what I'm saying is we got to let them know this, okay?
No,
so now
they do, because listen, I came back
Miss Lovett, Miss Lovett.
Because the FBI had my information.
Okay, Miss Lovett, calm down. Calm down.
I am the victim of identity theft, and they know it. They keep anything of mine. You give me birthdays, they change my social in 3rd Avenue in Brooklyn.
Okay.
510.
But Miss Lovett, we're gonna get this cleared up, but I'm gonna need you to calm down and go back with the sheriff, okay? Let me figure out who needs to have the information that you gave me, okay?
They stole another number.
I got you, but hold on. Don't give me everything right. Hold on. Don't give me everything until I get the right person who needs to have all of this information, okay?
Okay, so what you have to look back on January 7th, they came to the cell.
I got you. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna find out who needs to hear all of this, okay?
Yeah, it's in DeKalb.
No, they can't wait. Yeah. I know, so I can get them on that identity theft. All right, go back with Deputy Whitson for me. All right, next on the calendar is Rose. Did I already do Rose? Oh, yeah, we did Rose, we did Richardson. I'm sorry.
We're on Trammell.
Yeah, Trammell.
Thank you. Now I just got to go back to my calendar. Here we go. Okay, DeMarco Trammell.
Judge, he wishes to accept the offer from the state.
All right. And that's the last case on the calendar. All right, so what I have is Chambers is OTB, Foster is OTB, Poe is transferred to another jail in Spalding County. Lovett is a transfer. And what we have left are Abgita Mike, who's going to be a plea, Evans plea, Hambrick plea, Hill plea, Jimenez plea but needs an interpreter. Kruma, stip and agree, Langford plea, Rhodes plea, Richardson stip and agree, and Trammell plea. All right, bring them out however you want.
Just what everything you said was 100% correct, other than for Mr. Kroma. We are going to stip. I am going to ask the court for slightly less days than Mr. Carmichael has recommended, but other than that, that was all accurate.
All right.
I haven't heard from Mr. Kessler, Judge. I called his number, it just went to voicemail.
Okay, yeah, usually Mr. Kessler, he has a waiver in, so I'm not sure that we need to do
He's here
anything.
for a plea. He requested to be on this calendar for a plea.
Yeah, but we're seeing how that's going. We've had a couple of people request to be on the calendar and not show up. Mr. Kessler's usually pretty dependable, so I'm not sure what is going on with that.
Okay, well, if he doesn't appear, then let's just reset to Tuesday.
Okay, sounds good. So,
Judge, we have, I'm not sure what the court wanted to do, but the deputy was.
whoever y'all bring out, I'm ready.
Females first, and Miss Rhodes is here. We'll go ahead and start with Miss Rhodes, and then do the rest of the females, and then proceed.
Okay.
How the court please.
That's fine. Females first. We'll start with Miss Rhodes, and then we have a couple more.
Step right here, Miss Rhodes. Mr. Taylor's going to come.
All right, raise your right hand for me, Miss Rhodes. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on 2025 CR 01542 for criminal trespass, Kiana Marie Rhodes. Ms. Rhodes, you're before the court represented by Attorney Taylor. Mr. Taylor has indicated you're entering a plea of guilty to the criminal trespass. By doing so, ma'am, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. You understand all of these things, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On February 10, 2025, officers were in the area at the Atlanta Jackson Airport when they noticed 3 individuals, one being the defendant before you, panhandling for money. Officers did make contact with that individual and inquired whether or not they had an outbounding boarding ticket. The defendant indicated no. Officers did learn through the course of their investigation that she had a current criminal trespassing warning issued to her under case 241718030. That is the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 30 days. Balance suspended on the condition that she does not return to the incident location unless for official business.
Mr. Taylor?
Thank you, Your Honor. Defense just asked that you accept the recommendation from the state.
All right. How old are you, Ms. Rhodes?
Fine.
So how old are you?
I'm 42 years old.
Okay, Ms. Rhodes, do you have any family that can help you?
Yes.
All right. So, Ms. Rhodes, I'm going to accept your plea of guilt. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Your Honor, just speaking with Ms. Rhodes, she indicated that her grandmother lives in the metro Atlanta area and that she'd be able to provide some assistance for Ms. Rhodes.
Okay. So, Ms. Rhodes, I'm going to accept your plea of guilty. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 30 days. The credit for time served balance will be suspended as long as you do not go back to Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport unless you have business on that day. Okay?
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You're free to go at this time. Go back with the sheriff. All right. Who's next?
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to look in the camera here. The judge is going to be on there. Be polite to the judge, okay? Yes. Stand right here.
Okay, thank you. And today, because I was wondering why Judge told me I'm getting able to prove it. I think I took it.
Ma'am? 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 Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. All right. Who is this, Mr. Taylor?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is Miss Langford.
All right, Ms. Langford, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Latasha Lakia Langford, 2025 CR 01541 for criminal trespass. Ms. Langford, you're represented by Attorney Taz Taylor, who's with you at the podium. Mr. Taylor, what does your client plead to the offense before the court of criminal trespass?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client pleads guilty to the charge of criminal trespass. That's a single charge.
All right.
She wishes to accept the state's recommendation.
By entry plea of guilty, Ms. Langford, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, Ms. Langford?
Ms. Langford, you need to listen to the judge.
Do you understand all of the rights that I said to you, Ms. Langford?
Yes.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On January the 23rd, 2025, officers made
Ms. Ponder, you're muted.
I'm sorry. On January the 23rd, 2025, officers were in the on foot patrol inside of the 6000 North Terminal, which is the Atlanta Jackson International Airport. Officers were flagged down in reference to a known criminal trespass violator, which they later identified as the defendant before you. Officers indicated that the defendant did take a drink from Starbucks. Officers did make contact with the defendant, and it was later confirmed that she had a criminal trespass warning in her file on 3/6/2024, case number 240-668-043.
All right.
Case recommendation is 12 months to serve, 45 days, balance suspended. Do not return and stay away from that location unless for official business.
All right, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, talk to the judge now, okay? Thank you, Your Honor. Just ask that you accept the recommended sentence for a single charge of criminal trespass.
All right, Ms. Langford, I'm going to accept your plea of guilty. I'll sentence you to 12 months to spend 45 days, credit for time served, balance suspended, as long as you do not go back to Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport without business on that day, okay?
Okay, do you understand? You understand?
Ms. Langford, you have any family in the area?
Do you have family?
Yeah, I got family. Can I write your number down?
You've got my number.
Okay.
Listen to the judge. She's asking you. Listen to the judge.
Ms. Langford, do you have any family in the area that can help you?
Help me what? Get out?
To live. Do you have
Yeah,
any family?
yeah, I'll be able to, I got a family member, somebody I could call, to get out, help me out with anything I need. I do. I have some.
Okay.
I have some numbers that I can call if it's not too much.
All right, Ms. Langford, you're free to go at this time.
The jailhouse got going to reform it. They may not come and get me. Can you just go straight to the wholesale? Because someone.
You'll go.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what she said.
You've got my number.
Okay, I'm released today.
That's up to the sheriff.
She can talk to me.
All right, who's next?
5 days more. Unless they give you 2 for 1.
She just said that. She just said that.
The judge doesn't do that.
She did say that. Can you write time? Can you write time?
Ms. Langford, you can't go back to the airport, okay? Do not go back to the airport.
I've informed her a couple of times, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah, Ms. Langford's a frequent flyer. She'll be back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are we next? Who's next?
Your Honor, our interpreter's here, so if we could go with Mr. Jimenez. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Lynch needs to speak with Mr. Jimenez in the.
Yeah, with an interpreter. Who's next that we're ready on?
Mind talking to Mr. Jimenez with her, and then I can knock out my plea.
That's fine. Yes. You got the case?
It's in the. It was emailed to us. I understand from how well you understood what I was saying. Yeah, he's got 2 days. The record's like 9 days. If it for some reason. Judge, I'm gonna have Mr. Taylor talk to Mr. Jimenez with the interpreter so we can go ahead and do my pleas, or the pleas that I have. So when the deputy comes back, I'm gonna ask for Mr. Abjidamike.
Okay, y'all let me know when you're ready.
Do Abjidamike. I'm gonna have Taylor talk to him.
Your Honor, may I just have a brief breakout room with the court, please? It's not case specific related, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
Mr. Lynch, for credit purposes, is this non-negotiated or negotiated?
It's negotiated.
Negotiated, okay, thank you.
Take one step towards me.
All right, who we got here?
Judge, this is John Abjidamike.
Mr. Abidamike, good morning, sir. All right, so, sir, you're before the court on 2025 CR 01027, John Abidamike. Did I pronounce your name correctly, sir?
She's asking if you pronounce your name correctly.
Okay. Raise your right hand for me, sir.
Yeah.
You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give will be true.
True.
Okay. You can put your hand down. So, Mr. Abidamike, you're before the court for criminal trespass. Mr. Lynch is representing you. Mr. Lynch has indicated you have a plea. What is your client plea to the offense before the court?
Judge, he pleads guilty to criminally trespassing at the airport.
All right, Mr. Abidamike, I'll accept your guilty plea. In doing so, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present testimony or evidence against yourself. And sir, if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yeah.
Factual basis of recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Hagler.
On or about January 15th of 2025, Officer Edward Rabb, R-A-B-B, was dispatched to 6000 North Terminal Parkway, Clayton County, Georgia, in reference to a criminal trespass violator. When he arrived at the precinct, Mr. Malcolm Phillips with Hope Atlanta advised that the defendant was on the property loitering. At that time, Officer Rabb checked the criminal trespass file and located the defendant's criminal trespass file. The file said that the defendant was issued a criminal trespass on November the 5th of 2024 under case number 2431-08029. At that time, the defendant was taken into custody. Those are the facts of the case. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 90 days, balance suspended. The defendant is to stay away and to not return to the incident location, which is the Hartsville, Atlanta, Jackson International Airport, unless for official business.
All right, has he served the 90 days?
He has not. He's been in since January the 15th of this year, but the state is not opposed to him receiving credits at the day of lockup.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lynch.
Judge, I do ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated. I did speak to Mr. Abjidamike and explain to him that he's not to go back to the airport. He explains to me that he'll be returning to where he typically stays, which is off Cleveland Avenue. He is homeless currently, so that's why he has repeatedly returned to the airport.
Okay. All right, Mr. Abgitamike, if you can get some assistance from an organization like Atlanta Hope or Salvation Army or any of those organizations that might be able to assist you, please go ahead and seek that help. I know that it's not always comfortable to be in a shelter, but sometimes you need to get off the street for a little while to just kind of get yourself together, okay? So I'm going to accept your plea of guilty. 12 months to serve 90 days credit since the date of lockup. Balance will be suspended as long as you do not go back to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport unless you have business on that day. You understand?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, he can go back with the sheriff.
Evans next.
Mr. Maple, were you able to reach your attorney?
Judge, I called his office and it said he was in a currently in another court.
Okay, so this is the problem, Mr. Maple. I can't force him to be here because he hasn't done an entry of appearance, which means he's technically, as it appears to us, he's not your attorney. So he's got to make an entry of appearance. Now, at this point, you've been here twice without him. But if you have paid him to be here, then he needs to be here and he needs to do that entry, or else he's not. You paid him for nothing. This is your second appearance on arraignment. I don't even know Mr. Dart. Like, he's not an attorney who's familiar to me. Generally, if an attorney knows me, they know that they need to show up. So he needs to show up.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
Okay. And so because you're representing to me that you have an attorney, I'll respect that, but I'll give you a week. You'll be back here next Tuesday. And if he's not here with you, then I can offer you counsel that we have here available, or you need to bring somebody else.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Yeah, tell Mr. Dark I don't play these games.
I got you.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so Mr. Evans is Nathan Evans.
Yes, Judge, this is Mr. Evans. You just got quieter. I'm not sure if.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
All right, so Mr. Evans, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Evans, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Troy. Nathan Evans, case 2025 CR 01887 for criminal trespass. Mr. Evans, you're represented by attorney Owen Lynch, who's with you at the podium. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
He pleads guilty, I believe, just to one count of criminal trespass.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to criminal trespass, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And so if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about January 27th of 2025, Officer Kaleem, K-A-L-E-E-M as in Mary Gibson, G-I-B as in boy, S-O-N, was dispatched to the Atlanta Police Precinct located at 6000 North Terminal Parkway, Atlanta, Georgia, Clayton County, on a trespasser call. Upon arrival, he met with Sergeant J. Miller, who reported that while in the North Terminal baggage claim in the check-in area, he approached the defendant, who was found to not have an airline ticket, nor was he a current employee. The defendant's name was then checked to see if he had a valid trespass warning on file. Once the written warning was confirmed, it was given on July 20th of 2024, in which the defendant did sign. At that point, the defendant was arrested. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 90 days, balance suspended. The defendant is to not return and to stay away from the incident location, the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, unless for official business.
All right.
And also, Your Honor, the defendant has been in since January 27th, and so the state is not opposed to the defendant receiving credit since the date of lockup. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Lynch, anything on behalf of Mr. Evans?
Judge, we just asked that you accept the state recommendation. I have explained to Mr. Evans that they do have a file in the back of the airport with everybody's name and picture on it, and not to return to the airport unless he has a ticket or official business.
All right. So, Mr. Evans, I'm going to accept your plea. 12 months to serve 90 days, credit since the date of lockup, balance will be suspended as long as you do not go back to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport without business to attend to at the airport on the date that you are there. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can go back with the sheriff's office.
All right. Did you want to go ahead? Is Jimenez? Want to go ahead and do Jimenez next? Want to do Jimenez?
I'm sorry. Are we ready on Jimenez?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Taylor's going to handle it. But we are ready, I believe.
I'm Ms. Toles.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Mr. Taylor, is this negotiated or non-negotiated?
This is 12 months to serve 90 days, balance suspended concurrent on both cases.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Jose Jimenez,
Jose Jimenez.
you're before the court on two cases. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give will be true?
Correct.
Correct.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on case 2025 CR 01550 for criminal trespass.
Invasión ilegal.
You're also before the court on case 2025 CR 01553 for theft by shoplifting.
Hurto en tiendas.
All right, Mr. Taylor, what does your client plead to the offenses, each of one of the offenses on each of the cases?
On case 01550, criminal trespass,
Invasión ilegal.
my client
El
pleads
cliente
guilty.
se declara culpable.
To case
En cuanto al caso
01553,
01553,
theft by shoplifting,
hurto en tiendas,
my client pleads guilty.
mi cliente se
All
declara
right, by entering a plea of guilty on case 2025 CR 01550 and entering a plea of guilty on case 20 CR 01553,
0553.
you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge.
Mi juicio por jurado o por juez.
You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Su culpabilidad fuera de una duda razonable.
You give up the right to confront witnesses and enter testimony and evidence.
Y presentar pruebas y su propio testimonio.
To not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Ajá.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, interpreter speed.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about December 23rd of 2024, Officer Malik, M as in Mary, A, L as in little, I as in ice, K as in kite, Malik Harrison was dispatched to 804 Redland, R as in rabbit, E as in elephant, D as in David, LAND, Redland Drive, Jonesboro, Clayton County, Georgia, in reference to a disturbance. Throughout his investigation, he made contact with the victim, Marticia, M as in Mary, AR, T as in tree, ESSIA Jackson, who advised that the defendant was trying to get inside of her house. The victim shouted from inside of her residence to the defendant to leave multiple times, and the defendant refused to leave. The victim stated that the defendant was twisting the doorknob to her front door, trying to get inside of her residence after she asked him to stop. Throughout Officer Harris's investigation, the defendant did admit to hiding in the victim's backyard. Your Honor, those are the facts of the case for case ending in 01550. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 90 days. Balance suspended. The defendant is to stay away and to not return to the incident location, which is 804 Redland, REDLAND Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238. and the defendant is to have no contact with the victim. Regarding case ending in 01553, on or about July 26th of 2024, Officer Christopher, K as in kite, R-I-S as in Sam, T-O-P-H-E-R, Christopher, and I can spell the last name, M as in Mary, A-D as in David, E-R-E-R. Responded to 6331 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia, Clayton County. This is also known as the Texaco gas station. Officer Maderair responded in reference to a theft in progress. Upon his arrival, he did make contact with the owner of the store, Mr. Ankit, A-N-K as in kite, I-T. Last name is Kumar, K as in kite, U-M-A-R. And he informed Officer Maderair that the defendant stole 5 non-alcoholic beverages from the gas station. Passing all points of sale without paying for them. The total of the drinks was valued at $9.07. Your Honor, those are the facts of the case. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 90 days. Balance suspended. A fine of $200 to be suspended. The defendant is to stay away and to not return to the incident location, specifically 6331 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236, also known as the Texaco gas station. And the defendant did not have any contact with the victim, and this is to run concurrent with case ending in 01550. Also, Your Honor, for the court situational awareness, the victim in case ending in 01550 is on the call. However, she does not wish to give a statement at this time, but she is present.
All right. All right. Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Defense just asked that you accept the state's recommended sentence.
And also, Your Honor, the state is not opposed to, I know that on the case ending in 01550, he's been in custody since December 23rd of 2024. So the state is not opposed to the defendant getting credit since they have lockup for that case.
All right, Mr. Jimenez, I'm going to accept the agreed upon recommendation on case ending in 01550, 12 months to serve, 90 days, credit since the date of lockup. Balance will be suspended so that you have, as long as you have no contact with Marticia Jackson, and that you do not go back to the incident location at 804 Red Line Drive in Jonesboro, Clayton County, Georgia. Also on case ending in 01553, which will run concurrent with the sentence in the case 2025 CR 01550, 12 months to serve 90 days, credit since the date of lockup. Balance will be suspended as long as you do not go back to the Texaco located at 6331 31 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia, and you do not have any contact with Mr. Kumar at that location. All right, and you can go back with the sheriff's office at this time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and next. Okay, so I have Hill, Trammell, and Hambrick as the last pleas, and then 2 petitions.
Yes, Judge, and I was gonna ask that we do Mr. Hill next.
That's fine. All right, Mr. Maple, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. You're free to go at this time, sir. You'll be back here at the same time next week on Tuesday at 10 a.m. By video, it's the same video login. Just make clear to your Mr. Dark that he needs to be here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
And before we go forward with Mr. Hill, I just wanted to just verify, because I know normally Mr. Hill would be a Ms. Hagler case, but I did speak to Ms. Ponder about, I just wanted to make sure that Ms. Hagler, if she's handling it, has that altered recommendation that I spoke to Ms. Ponder about. Is that?
Okay.
Yes, so for clarity purposes, is anger management off the table?
Well, so maybe so it was a jail. I asked for her for a jail recommendation.
Right.
That is correct, and
Just
I've
wanna make
placed it on the file for count 1 and 2. Is this for the stalking case?
Yeah.
Okay, at the bottom of the file, it say count 1 and 3, and it says my recommendation that we discuss.
Okay, I want to make sure that everything else was not on the table before I gave it. So, okay, that's fine.
Thank you. I was sorry.
I'll just read what I see.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're ready to go forward, Judge. I just wanted to kind of get ahead of any confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Raise your right hand for me, Mr. Hill. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on case 2025 CR 01545 for battery, count 1, simple battery, count 2, and stalking, count 3. You're represented by attorney Owen Lynch, who's with you at the podium. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
I believe it would be a plea of guilty to count 1, count 2 should merge, guilty to count 3.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to counts 1 and 3, count 2 will merge. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And Mr. Hill, if you're not a United States citizen, plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about December 25th of 2024, Officer Anton, A-N-T-O-N Jackson, was dispatched to 1638 Stockbridge Road, Jonesboro, Georgia, Clayton County, in reference to a report of a disturbance. During his investigation, he made contact with the victim, Miss Bianca, B-I-A-N-C-A Harris. And it was determined that the defendant did commit the offense of stalking for the purpose of harassment and intimidation. The victim, Ms. Harris, stated that the defendant arrived to her residence unannounced and stated that he wanted to visit his children. The victim advised that she got inside of her vehicle and asked the defendant to not follow her prior to arrival to the incident location. Upon arrival, the defendant did attempt to take the victim's property from inside of her vehicle and off her person. That resulted in an injury to the victim's left hand. The officer observed the injury to the victim's left hand, and the injury was captured on the officer's video surveillance. Also during the investigation, the defendant did admit to following the victim's vehicle in order to explain to the victim that he would like to see his children. Your Honor, those are the facts of the case. The state's recommendation for count 1 is 12 months to serve, 90 days, balance suspended. The defendant is to not return to the incident location, which is 1638 Stockbridge Road, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236, and to stay away and to have no contact with the victim. For count 2 will merge. Count 3 is 12 months to serve, 90 days, balance suspended, again, to stay away, to not return, no contact with the victim, to run consecutive to count 1. And the state is not opposed to the defendant getting credit since they have lockup. He's been in custody since December 25th of 2024.
Did you say count 3 was to run consecutive?
That's what I heard.
That's what I have on my, that's what I have on my file.
So, Your Honor, written on the file, it's count 1 and count 3, and it's to run concurrent, 12 months to serve, 90 days, balance suspended, do not return, stay away, and the victim does not want to have contact with the defendant whatsoever.
Okay, so we're running it concurrent?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we just had a mix up on the file. That's no problem.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Hill, sir, let's talk for a minute, because let's make it make sense to me. How old are you, sir?
32 years old.
How many children do you have with Miss Harris?
We have 3.
Okay, how old are your children?
My oldest 2, they're 11, they're about to turn 12 in May. And my youngest daughter, she's 6. She's also about 7 in May.
Okay, so now it appears that you and Miss Harris don't have a romantic relationship anymore. Have you legitimized these children, or do they carry your name, and are you a legal parent to them?
Yeah. They actually was staying with me before Christmas, but yeah, they also carry my name too.
Okay, did you go to court? Were you married to Miss Harris when they were born?
No, we wasn't.
Okay, did you go to court and legitimize these children?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Hill, it sounds like you want to be a father, but you and Miss Harris are not in a relationship that y'all can co-parent successfully. The best way to do this is to go through the courts. You aren't currently a legal parent to the children, and your children shouldn't have gotten to be almost 12 without you having this happen. So Miss Harris is the only legal parent that the court and the state will recognize. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a parent to these children, then you got to do better than this. First of all, you need to legitimize them through the courts. All right. And I know that can be a scary process, because don't nobody like to go to court if they don't have to. There are forms. Okay, I need whoever that is to mute. There are forms. If you can't get them here, because we don't have a family law information center here, but Fulton County does, and so does Gwinnett. So if you go to the Fulton County Courthouse, it's the same documents. You just would file them here and change the name at the top from Fulton County Court to Clayton County Clayton County Superior Court. But they'll answer your questions and help you walk through the paperwork. But you need to legitimize your children. You also need to set up a specific way through the courts that you all arrange visitation, and that you arrange for payment of child support, because people always think child support is a bad thing. But if you are the custodial parent, the person who has the kids with them 24/7, if y'all don't have a relationship where y'all know what bills and expenses are expected and can be paid, then child support is the only way of knowing how much money you got to work with. And you got an 11-year-old, I got an 11-year-old. I know how much they cost. I know how many, you got 2 of them. I know how many activities they're in. I know what it costs to feed them. So when I say that you got to step up, your children deserve to be in your life, but you got to be emotionally responsible for them, financially responsible for them. Their mother shouldn't be the only one dealing with everything that goes on with them. Yes, sir. Now you said, hold on, I'm just telling you. What I'm telling you is, you said that as long as things were fine, they were living with you. What I'm telling you is things can go left at any point. So you got to go through the courts to make sure you're the legal parent so that she can't deny you the ability to see your children. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Stuff like this comes up because y'all don't do this right. We have kids when we're just kicking it or in a relationship, but there's no marriage, there's no structure, and we think we're going to be fine all the time. But what I tell people all the time is everything's good until it's not. Y'all break up. She gets a new boyfriend. You get a new girlfriend. The new girlfriend or the new boyfriend don't want you around. All of those things can contribute to this kind of thing happening. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so get it together. Work on getting your children legitimized so that you can get a schedule for visitation and child support and when they're with you and when they're with her. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to accept your plea of guilty to counts 1 and 3. Count 2 will merge. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 90 days credit since the date of lockup. Ballots will be suspended as long as you do not go back to 1638 Stockbridge Road, Jonesboro, Georgia, and you do not have any contact with Bianca Harris unless you go through the Superior Court and it is in pursuit of any Superior Court family law proceedings. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if it's going through the courts and it's as directed by the courts, then that's fine. But don't do it otherwise. That's why I'm telling you, get your stuff together legally, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So on count 3, it's the same 12 months, 90 days, balance suspended as long as you do not go to that location or see Miss Harris. That will run concurrent. It means at the same time as, so for the 12 months, this is what you got to do. But I need you to go ahead and pursue legitimizing because it sounds like you're a dad. A dad is the person who's there when they need you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but if you're going to be a dad, even if you and Miss Harris aren't together, you got to figure out how to co-parent so y'all don't get into this foolishness. Okay, that's not good for the kids on either side.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so you can go back with the sheriff's office and then make sure you do what I said. And I told you, the family law information centers where they can walk you through the paperwork and kind of answer your questions. Fulton County has one, Gwinnett County has one, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, Mr. Hill.
Your Honor.
All right, yes.
Ms. Tolles is still present. She was asking if anybody needed her from the out the bond arraignment calendar, possibly Mr. Castilla.
No, Mr. Castilla hasn't shown up with Mr. Kessler, so we're gonna figure out what's going on because Mr. Kessler's usually pretty timely. And
Judge.
he always, yes.
So I talked to Mr. Kessler and he did call Miss Melissa and wanted to move his case from today to Thursday. And we put him on Thursday at 11 a.m. for his plea.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, because we have arraignment on Thursday, so we'll take his plea on Thursday.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tolles. We'll be here at 11 on Thursday, so you'll probably, you or Ms. Bermudez will get that calendar.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for waiting. All right, so Mr. Maple is going to contact Mr. Dark. He'll be moved to the next Tuesday calendar, to next Tuesday, and Mr. Dark is going to have to show up, or he's going to lose a client. So we got to move this case. And Castilla is going to be 11 a.m. next Thursday, on this Thursday. Barnett is a no process and a bench warrant set aside, which has already been sent over. And Allen has a bench warrant bond forfeiture that is that was the previous no show. Okay. All right. So the next case is So we have outstanding Hambrick and Trammell for pleas, and then Chroma and Richardson for petition.
I'm ready for whatever the court wants to go forward. If you want to go ahead and do the probation cases to get officers out of here, I'm okay with that.
That's
Whatever.
fine. All right, so the next case is Chroma. Mr. Chroma has two cases, which should have been, it looks like pay only probation for driving on a suspended or a revoked license. Mr. Carmichael.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm moving between the calendars and the petitions, so I'm not signing right now because it's too hard to navigate through all of these. But once I finish the calendar, then I'll be signing. So anything you need me to sign, just go ahead and put it in the queue and I'll go ahead and sign it. All right. I'm waiting on Mr. Chroma.
Judge, this is Mr. Chroma.
Mr. Chroma, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, you can put your hand down, sir. Someone's asking me if I said their name, but I don't know what your name is because all I see is Samsung. So I don't know what your name is just by looking on the calendar. Who's here under Samsung? Yeah, Miss Allen, I did. I've been calling your name all morning, several times this morning. So yeah, I had that you weren't here. So hold on a second. Yeah, I was asking because I even said she set up the calendar. She put her name on the calendar, so I don't know why she's not here. Hold on a second. All right, so Ms. Allen is here. So we'll revisit her case in a moment. So I have before me Mr. Matalese Abednego Chroma. Mr. Chroma, you're before the court on 2021 CR 03992 and 2021 CR 03994 for driving on a suspended or revoked license 2 times. You were before this court and took a plea on the 29th day of September 2022, sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 2 months and 23 days remaining. The sentence was told, and this is your second revocation. So you failed to report on June 26th of 2023. You failed to complete the community service. Your hours were commuted to community service, 145 hours of community service. You failed to pay, and you're $912 in arrears. So Mr. Lynch, why hasn't Mr. Chroma been able to do what I asked him to do?
I'll let Mr. Chroma explain that in his own words at this point.
Okay, but when I was doing about the paying part, I had got into an accident, so that's why they had tried to switch over to the community service, right? I got into an accident, so I wasn't working at the time. So then when I was doing the community service, I was trying to do one like closer to where I lived at. He was saying, come out here, but I ain't had no transportation to really come out here that early. So I was trying to do community service closer to where I lived at. So he put in for like a revocation here, but he told me to do the community service, however much I was able to accumulate by the time I came to court. So that's what I did. But then when I came to court, I was like late. I was late for court. And then I never saw nobody. That was the last that I had heard from. I had did probably like 40.
Mr. Chroma, how many hours of community service did you do, sir?
I probably did like 40 some hours at Brady Gym back then.
Brady Jail?
Brady Gym. College Park community, like the community center in College Park.
Okay, and you don't have the paperwork or anything?
No, I had it the day when I came to court. I had it.
But Mr. Chroma, here's the problem, sir. We've been dealing with this case since 2022. In all of that time, you could have made some money. You could have worked side jobs and made the amount of money necessary to pay what we asked you to pay. You could have actually been doing your community service since I changed it to 140 hours of community service, and you could have been done. I don't understand why folk won't just, you know, my husband has a saying, and he says it all the time, drives me nuts. But he was like, I got to get it done. I got to get it done. Y'all don't want to get anything done. It's like you okay with the threat of jail hanging over your head, but if jail was hanging over my head, the first thing I would do is my 145 hours of community service. And I told you, I don't care where you do it. I didn't ask you to come back to Clayton County to do it. I've never done that. I've always said to people, do the community service where it's close to you or convenient to you, where you're going to get it done. My priority is that you get it done, not that you do it in Clayton County.
Yeah, but my PO, he wasn't allowing me to do it anywhere at first.
Your PO will take whatever I say he will take. And I'm not downing Mr. Carmichael because he's amazing. But what I'm saying to you is you're making excuses. If you brought in hours here from the nonprofit down the street from your house, if you lived in Timbuktu and they could certify that it was a certified nonprofit, I would take the hours. So what I'm saying to you is don't make excuses, Mr. Croma. You're making excuses. How old are you?
37.
Mr. Croma, first of all, let's talk about the fact that you had 2 back-to-back driving on a suspended or revoked license, which means that you either didn't show up for court or you're not paying child support. Those are the 2 main reasons that they will take your license. So which one is it?
It was child support.
Okay. So that right there tells me you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, because you got kids out there that you're not supporting. And then I can see why you're not supporting them. You're not even doing probation. When I didn't say give me money, I said give me time. You're not doing anything you're supposed to do, Mr. Croma. You're 37 years old and you're acting like a teenager. They're supposed to be irresponsible. You, sir, are not. Get it together. You brought kids into this world and you just slacking. Just slacking. If this is what you are teaching them, they're going to end up in an orange jumpsuit. This ain't a murder charge. This is driving on a suspended or revoked license. We're asking for money or time. You can't give me either. Neither one. You are being trifling, as the old people would say. Not doing what you need to do, lazy, and not working like you should be working. Sir, if you are a parent in this world, your children deserve better than to have somebody who can't even get probation done. Because I know if you're not doing probation because you got the probation because you failed to pay your child support. So I know if you can't get some community service hours done in probation, I know you're not doing nothing for them. Get it together. Man up. I know folk with 2 and 3 and 4 jobs out here just working. I know people who started with a lawnmower doing people's lawns, and now they got a 0-turn motor and a truck because they have worked themselves into that. But you sitting here giving me excuses. Well, see, what had happened was, well, I couldn't do it, and my PO wouldn't want me to do it outside of Clayton County because did it all crazy, just crazy. Get it together. You are 37 years old. Before you know it, you'll be 55. And you know what? You won't have nothing. You won't even have kids who want to spend time with you because you ain't doing nothing for them. So get it together, sir. What's the recommendation, Mr. Carmichael?
Probation recommends serve 30 days, credit for time served, closed case.
All right, Mr. Lynch.
Judge, from speaking to my client, he does currently have employment. He works for the Amazon. He works with the Amazon Distribution Center. Google Distribution Center. And Judge, we would ask that you sentence him to 20 days, credit for time served, close the case. I think that would be, in terms of driving on a suspended license case, I think 10 days per case would be a reasonable
Yeah, it would be, except he hasn't, this is his second revocation, Mr. Lynn. His second one, which means that I've already given him another chance and he blew it. And Mr. Lynch, let you in on a little secret. He ain't helping his kids. So why should I care what he's doing? If he was applying and helping his kids, maybe that would help me. But he ain't helping them.
Say something about that, Yana.
Yes, please, sir.
Because, like you saying, what I ain't doing with my kids, I got put on child support like 6 years later from a child that I didn't even know that was mine, that I never even took a test for. I got put on child support because I didn't go to court to take the test during COVID because I didn't have no ID. But they just still put me on child support. Said by me not going to court, it was like I waived my rights. So now
you did.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. So then it had all that back child support. That's what ended up suspending my license.
Mr. Chroma, you didn't go to court. You just should have put a mask on and gone to court. Why would you ignore court because you didn't have a ID? You could have shown up and told them who you were.
At that time, that was my first time dealing with it. But they just automatically put me on child support for a child.
So you just thought if you didn't go, they weren't gonna do anything.
I got to go to court on the 10th of this month to get them to do a DNA test for the child. But I still been on child support all the years for a child. I don't even know if he's mine or not.
Mr. Chroma, you could have asked for a DNA test years ago.
Yep, and every time I asked the woman for a DNA test, because the court said I had to go through the woman now, since I didn't make it to the court. Every time I asked the woman for a DNA test, she disappeared. So now I finally been able to get it where the court is gonna do it for me. I had to go through a program with the court. So now on the 10th, I gotta go and do it.
Which court? City of Atlanta?
Yeah, City of Atlanta. I gotta go do a legitimize, and they said through that, they're gonna do the DNA test.
All right, Mr. Chroma, I'll give you 20 days credit for time served. Balance will be suspended and case closed. But sir, let me tell you something. Whether you are this child's father or not, certain things you don't do. You don't ignore court notices. They're not going to just drop it because you don't show up. That just means you don't care enough to show up, and they're going to do what they want to do. We clear? If this is your child, then at some point you agreed to lay down with the person and make a baby. So be a dad. Try and be a force of good in this child's life.
Yes,
and third, okay, start getting yourself together. Because even though you got a job at the Amazon distribution center, that wasn't helping you in this situation because you wasn't doing anything to pay your way out of what was essentially fines and fees. You have worked a case that was, okay, pay your fines and fees, and I'm just giving you extra time to do it, into 2 appearances before the court, 2 times you've been arrested for probation violation, and even now 30 days because you haven't done anything. Every time you turn around, you got an excuse for something. Well, I didn't go to court and they put the child support on me. No, I didn't go to court. And so the court did what they do, which was to grant a default because I didn't go to contest it and say this child might not be mine. Stop letting stuff happen to you. All right, you can go back to the sheriff's office.
And Your Honor, that was my only case. May I be excused?
Mr. Carmichael, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Good.
I guess, Mr. Richardson? Yes. Oh, you want to do Hambrick? Yeah, we can do Mr. Hambrick. We're gonna do Mr. Hambrick next at the deputy's request, Judge.
That's fine.
You can put it down. You can put it down.
Mr. Hambrick, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true. I can't hear you.
Judge, could you repeat yourself, ma'am?
Do you solemnly, Mr. Hambrick, raise your right hand for me. Okay, I see his lips moving, but I don't hear anything.
Judge,
All right, Mr. Lynch, if he's not in any shape to take a plea, send him back. Let's not belabor it.
Judge, you may be right at this time.
What?
I agree, Judge.
Okay.
So is the case being reset to next Tuesday,
Yeah.
Your Honor? What is, okay.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
So, action in between now and then.
All right, so Trammell and Richardson are what I have next.
I believe Mr. Hambrick at one point had some family support several years.
Are they here?
No, they're not here today, Judge. I was just thinking out loud, maybe I can track them down.
Okay. Now, he's been here before.
I know.
All right, who's this?
This is Cameron Lorray Richardson here, Judge, on a.
All right, Mr. Richardson, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
You have to answer. You have to answer verbally.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you can put your hand down, sir. So, Mr. Richardson, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Cameron Lorray Richardson, 2024 CR 04398 and 2024 CR 07644. You were convicted, I'm sorry, you took a plea to public indecency, indecent exposure, 2 counts on the 8th day of October 2024. You were sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 6 months and 23 days remaining. This case was not told. This is your first revocation hearing. It is alleged that you have violated the law by being arrested for theft by receiving stolen property, BGCSA, possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, firearm possession by a felon, all on February 25th of 2025 in Clayton County, Georgia. You also failed to report on October 10th, 24th, November 27th, January 15th of 2025, February 6th of 2025, and February 13th of 2025. And that was October and November of 2024. You failed to document proof of continuing your mental health management as directed. So, Mr. Lynch?
Yes, Your Honor. I have spoken to Mr. Richardson about his rights in this matter. He does stipulate that he was arrested for a new offense. He's not making any admissions as to the underlying offense. He does stipulate that he failed to report. Judge, we are asking the court to accept the recommendation of Ms. Chang.
All right, Ms. Chang, what's your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Probation recommends that 90 days be revoked and the case be closed.
Right. How long has he been in?
Judge, I would assume he's been in since the date of offense for the new offense. So that would be
February 25th, Your Honor.
I believe that felony matter is still going to hold him in here.
All right, Mr. Richardson, I'm going to revoke 90 days. You'll give credit since the date of lockup. I've noted that you admitted to the technicals only, and you can go back with the sheriff's office. Your case will be closed after the service of 90 days. This case doesn't have anything to do with your felony. All right.
Your Honor, that's all I have this morning. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your patience. You're free to go at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too. All right, my last case is Trammell.
Yes, Judge. That's a negotiated plea. Stand right here. See the judge up there.
All right, Mr. Trammell, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Trammell, approach the camera a little bit closer because I can't hear you. You're gonna have to speak up for me. How old are you, sir?
18.
Mr. Trammell, what we doing? usually in situations like this, things are going on where you don't have parental support. We having issues at home?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured. I'm looking at the quintessential family support is not what I need it to be as a young man growing up. Okay. All right. So this is case 2025 CR 01518, loitering or prowling, count 1, theft by shoplifting, count 2, and obstruction of an officer, count 3. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plea to the offenses before the court?
Judge, he's pleading guilty.
To all 3?
Yes, Judge.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to counts 1, 2, and 3, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And sir, if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On December the 21st, 2024, officers responded to 8140 Terra Boulevard, which is the location of the Quick Trip. Officers learned from the store clerk that the defendant was located inside of the store restroom for an unreasonable amount of time. When made contact, it was discovered that the defendant was in possession of several different items in the store that he did not pay for. When officers asked for his name and date of birth, he advised them that he did not have to provide his name and date of birth, and that he committed no crime, and that that officers should just take him to jail. There were several items that they've stated the defendant took, and those were food items along with there was just several food items, goods. Just trying to see if there was anything else. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendations to dismiss count 1. Count 2, theft by shoplifting is 12 months to serve, 30 days, balance suspended. Do not return to that location. Count 3 is a $300 fine, suspended.
All right, let me ask this. Is he eligible for first offender?
I can just have one moment, Your Honor. Just check.
Mr. Trammell, when was the last time you attended school, sir?
Last May.
Last May?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I have an update for the court.
Yeah.
Your Honor, the defendant has an open case on April the 29th, 2023 in Atlanta, entering an automobile, possession of a firearm or knife during the commission of a crime, theft by shoplifting out of Chamblee, possession of marijuana cases in Atlanta.
You might want to save that first offender for that. Mr. Trammell, let me tell you something, sir. Ideally, you would have a mom and a dad who are ushering you into adulthood. That doesn't happen for everybody. A lot of times, most of us are raised by one parent, whether it's the mom or the dad. I was raised by my mom. Fortunately, I was able to get, like my stepdad was my dad. So I did have two parents eventually, but initially it was just my mom. I understand that a lot of times when you are trying to figure it out and you out on your own, and kids are supposed to, you're testing the waters. Kids do stuff that doesn't make sense. Kids do stuff that some people would consider bad. But what I'm telling you is these decisions that you're making, generally you would have parents to help you make those decisions, because at this age, you don't make good decisions. Between the ages of 15 and 25, you don't make good decisions. Those are not the good decision-making ages. You are essentially running on impulse. But what I want you to understand is the decisions you make at this age are gonna have an impact on how you live your life when you get past that 25 point. I know that things are hard for you. I get that, because if there was a parent involved, they would probably be here in court right now. Do you have anybody in your life that you can depend on?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you to tell me who that is, but what I want you to think about is while you're in this jail, I want you to start thinking about the connection that you have to that person and the things that you have done that may have disappointed that person and how you can try and repair that relationship, because nobody gets through life without somebody in their corner. Some of us have a lot of somebodies, some of us just have one person. But what I'm telling you is if you can repair that relationship with that one person, maybe you can start getting things on track with respect to what's going on in your life. You hear me?
Yes.
It is very hard for me to believe that most people are bad in themselves. I don't believe that. I believe there are some people, there are some sociopaths and psychopaths out there who are just bad and they can't even help it. That's just how they're made. But what I say to you is I don't believe most people are bad. I believe a lot of people, especially the people who come before me, make bad decisions. And a lot of those decisions are because of the choices you think you have. You either don't have something in your life or you have something in your life that's causing you to make those choices. What I just would advise you, Mr. Trammell, is when you're making these choices, think about the long term and how this is going to affect you. Because I get intelligence from you. I don't get that I'm talking to somebody who doesn't understand what I'm saying. I get the impression that you could have easily finished school.
I did.
And so you finished, you're done. You got a degree. I mean, you got a diploma.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Trammell, there are things available to you. A lot of people don't even get to this point, but you have. There are things available to you so that you can have a better life. Don't go down this road where you end up in the prison system. Whatever you got going on in the city of Atlanta, try and get that resolved to the best of your ability. Work with your attorneys to get it resolved to the best of your ability. And then try and think about how you want to live your life for the rest of your life. Okay? I don't want to see you in an orange jumpsuit. I don't want to see you in a white uniform like they do in the Georgia state system. That's not your life. There's intelligence in you, and that's not where you need to be. You got me?
Yes.
I'm talking to you like I would one of my own sons. You have to, I know even without support, you got to think through and start making some better decisions. Okay?
All right.
All right. Now, I'm going to accept your plea. Ms. Ponder has been kind enough to no pros count 1, counts 2 and 3 will run concurrent. That means they'll run at the same time. 12 months on count 2, 30 days. You're not to go back to the quick trip on 8740 Terra Boulevard in Clayton County, Georgia for 12 months. And count 3, a $300 fine. That is to be suspended for the credit for the time that you're serving. And you're going to go back with the sheriff's office. But Mr. Trammell, if somebody reaches out to help you, take that help. It's not weak to accept help. You got me?
All right.
And I hope somebody does reach out to help you because I don't want you going down this road.
All right.
All right, sir. You can go back with the sheriff's office.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that 30 days credit for time served or credit since lockup?
I have credit since lockup. Am I correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Thank
Just
you.
to, because there's been a lot of kind of discussions about credit since date of lockup. I think everyone understands that the law requires that every single defendant in a criminal case that's being sentenced gets credit since the date of lockup. I believe that's the state of the law. It may be different in a probation matter,
I
but
get that, Mr. Lynch. The only issue is that when I give credit since the date of lockup, I'm basically indicating to the sheriff's office that I'm not asking for day to day.
right. Okay.
So that is why I say it. I understand that everybody gets credit since the date of lockup. But what I indicate to the sheriff's office is I'm not asking, if I say credit for time served, boom, sentence ends that day. If I
Right.
say credit since the date of lockup, that means they may not have done the entire 30 days, but they do get credit. And
Okay.
I can say it in some instances where they may have gotten credit in another facility, and I want that added on. But I say it because I don't want the sheriff to think that I'm just saying day to day. I'm saying just start your calculations from the date they were arrested. And if the sheriff is given time, 2 days credit, or however the sheriff contemplates the credit to be given, because I give the sentence, the sheriff determines how much time they actually spend. I want the sheriff's office to know that I'm not asking for day to day.
Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
for educating me as to that, Your Honor. I was just
Yeah, that's what I do. I understand. And when somebody said, well, I'm not opposed to, I mean, I don't think I care about how people phrase it. I just know that that's what it means to me. Okay, now Miss Allen has shown up. Miss Allen, why are you late, ma'am?
Hello?
Sharonda Allen? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened? Why weren't you here when I called you several
I
times?
am so sorry. I'm in Alabama and I completely forgot about the hour time difference. Like I just got down here, so I logged on at 10 thinking I'm on time, but I was, I apologize, Your Honor. I'm so sorry. It's a
All
lack
right.
of on my
So
part.
you're before the court for no tag, expired or invalid tag, violation in the display of license plates, concealing the ID of a motor vehicle, and no insurance. Did you need to have an attorney represent you, or did you wish to speak with the state and see what they are offering in your case?
Well, Your Honor,
I
I
would
actually began speaking with her already while you were on the other cases. I just need her to send me her proof to the number I put in the chat.
Okay, were you able to send that proof, Miss Allen?
I'm doing it right now, Your Honor. You had started talking to me.
Okay, go ahead and send that proof, and then we'll check back in a minute.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so while I'm waiting on Miss Allen to come back before we finish up, I'm gonna go ahead and start signing some things. So if anything has been sent over, I'll go ahead and start signing so that you all can have the documents that you need, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Don't know. What?
Your Honor, I wanted to make sure that, or let you know that there is a Mr. Lighty present in the courtroom who indicated he was here at your direction.
Mr. Who?
Lighty. Like Lighte. Lighty.
Mr. Lightning, come up.
Come up, sir. You can come up. Okay.
Come on out, let him come up, Deputy.
He's coming up. The screen goes black, so I'm just gonna look at it up there.
Okay.
You're right here. Come on up.
All right. How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm good, Mr. Lightning. How are you?
All righty. I guess we're not gonna deal with the trial today, right?
The what?
The trial.
Travel. Not sure. Remember, I'm back for the trials on March 10th.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about the travels, but I did indicate that we would talk about any questions that you have when I'm back in court for the
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so.
But you answered everything today before I got ready to leave. So you definitely took care of that for me.
Okay, then. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, so I'll just come back on the 10th then.
All right, and then, like I said, if you need any certified copies, the clerk's office can do those for you, and you can walk away with those. So, but they should be open today
Thank you, Your Honor.
until 4:30.
Okay, you have a nice one.
All right, you too, sir.
Okay.
All
I
right.
enjoyed the day too.
Okay, huh?
I said I really enjoyed the day also.
Okay, sir. Well, thank you.
Okay.
All right, take care.
You too. I see y'all. I saw it. It takes all time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I see y'all. Well, stay here, man. You too. Thank you. Hey, young man, thank you so much.
No problem.
And thank you, officer.
No problem.
Mr. Lynch, is the gentleman who was here for Mr. Ho, is he still in?
No, Judge, he's not with us anymore.
Okay, because Mr. Ho is definitely in Spalding County. He also has cases pending in Spalding County from 2022, and he has an arraignment date on March 26th. So I just wanted to confirm and put on the record that we did find him. He's not in the Clayton County Jail. He does have cases pending in Spalding County. I do not have any other information about the felony that it may have kept him here, but I do know he's been released from our custody. And I would like to, I guess, speak with Mr. Moore from Lister Holton Dennis and Deputy Ponder and maybe Mr. Brooks to see how we are going to, I guess, moving forward, dealing with individuals who reject the assistance of the Indigent Defense Council and have, from what we can ascertain, severe mental health issues that may be kind of underpinning their decisions. Because, excuse me, Mr. Ho was brought out several times. He was uncooperative, not combative, intelligent, but uncooperative with respect to the charges, the offer from the state, the court's appointment of counsel. And so when we have people who are in that kind of limbo and we don't have family members or a caretaker to assist, then I'm not sure what we do. But just so we know, if his caretaker does come back or contacts any of us, then Mr. Ho has an arraignment date before Judge Thacker in Spalding County on March 26th. So if he doesn't contact my office, we at least know how to direct them. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna reach out and try and see if there is a method that we can use or that has been successful in other jurisdictions for the state that Mr. Ho is in, which is he cognitively he has no issues, but with respect to decision making and mental health issues, there are some issues. So
absolutely, I'll have Mr. Moore reach out, and he's definitely available at
Yeah. Because there's got to be a better strategy than to kind of keep checking on status to see, because we're not getting a lot of traction from DBHDB because they really do have some issues with respect to staffing and the ability to get people a mental health eval to get them treated based on what their current or known diagnosis is.
I heard that the mental health evals should speed up a little bit, but the beds at Georgia Regional are still just as backed up as ever, if not more.
Yeah, and it seems like these cases are these are not current cases. They seem to be kind of from before, but he's now dealing with them because we now know where he is. And so I guess anywhere that he has a case, now that he's popped up, they're going to want to, deal with them. So, all right. Whenever Ms. Ponder and Ms. Allen come back with an announcement, then we'll be ready to go. But I'll just, kind of convene either an email or a meeting on that, or maybe a Zoom talk regarding those kind of issues.
Absolutely. I'll let them know that's coming.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Allen, you have any updates regarding your documents?
I think Ms. Ponders was speaking to her.
It was me, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did she
waiting.
send them?
I'm still waiting. I'm trying to do a check-in with her now to see if there's any updates. Okay.
Ms. Allen, did you send the documents?
I'm so sorry. I wasn't expecting to have to find it. Okay, so can I just say something really fast? I'm so sorry. Okay, so I have a new vehicle now, so I didn't know if you want me to send that stuff or at the time where because I don't have the Mercedes anymore. It's in Alabama.
It's the new stuff, ma'am. It's the new stuff that I'm requesting.
You want me to send you the new stuff?
Yes, the insurance and the registration. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so just one more thing. I'm so sorry. So I just found out that he got canceled for some reason, but I just reinstated. Got canceled on the 2nd of this month, and so I just reinstated. I don't know why that happened. So I'm just trying to So you say you wanted the registration and the insurance cards, right?
Yeah, just proof to show that your new vehicle is compliant. Yes, ma'am. To
Okay, I can.
the number I sent you in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll finish send it right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Yes.
Your Honor, may Lister Holton Dennis be excused?
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm just waiting on Miss Allen.
Is this which one is this? Okay.
Your Honor, you still need the courtroom open, or can I close it down?
You can go close it down. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, while Miss Allen is getting her documents, can you please confirm the announcement for Foster? He is page 2 on the jail cases calendar.
Okay.
Please.
On Foster is OTB, and he had already entered a not guilty plea.
Okay,
Right.
thank you. Thank you.
I think this open. Yes. Okay. Hopefully that's it and it's over with.
Did you find it, Miss Allen, or you still have to look for your new stuff? If so, we can just reset you if the court is inclined to next Tuesday to give you time to find your new stuff if you can't find
I
it.
just sent it to you.
Okay, let me see. All right, 1 second. Thank you.
Okay.
And then you said that you just reinstated your insurance?
Yes, ma'am. It was canceled on the 2nd. I don't know what had happened like 2 days ago. And so I
Okay.
just reinstated everything because I didn't know why it was canceled in the first place. I don't know.
I think you sent me the wrong document for your insurance. Can you just send me the one in which you restated?
Okay.
This one
I
is
thought
still
that was
showing expired, yeah. So if you can just send
okay.
me the reinstatement one, and then we'll be good to go on that. Thank you.
Okay, let me go back into it.
Okay.
I just resent it again.
Okay, let me refresh. Okay. All right, Your Honor, the state does have an announcement on Ms. Allen's case. Whenever the court is ready.
Ready?
Yes, Your Honor, after review of the documents, the state's gonna not process Ms. Allen's case. She is in compliance.
All right, Ms. Allen, please remain in compliance. Your case is going to be no pros. Okay, and you're free to go at this time.
Thank
If
you,
you
Judge.
need, we'll go ahead and set aside the bench warrant. If you need these documents, you can contact the Clayton County, Georgia State Court Clerk's Office, and
Yes,
they can get you copies if you should need those. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your hard work and patience. And we're free to go at this time. I'll see y'all on Thursday.